Apparently the sun decided to send me a birthday present today because we just had an M1 solar flare erupt from the sun after a very long duration of basically nothing going on the sun. Between the active regions, the coronal-hole winds, the geomagnetic forecast, the astrology, my birthday weekend, it's kind of looking a little bit energetically spicy. Hi guys, I'm Starr, and I haven't done an energy update in a while. The sun's been very quiet for the past couple of months, so let's get into what's actually happening. First off, solar activity has picked back up. We have an interesting region that is just turning on to the sun. We had an M1 class solar flare on August the 19th, and after several days of mostly lower level activity, it seems like it is starting to pick up. One of the regions that I'm watching closely is active region 4507. It's in beta, delta, and gamma configuration. It does have a stable number of sunspots. The flare probabilities are a little bit higher. There is a 1 or 5% chance of having an X-class flare from that region, but it is heading off of the western limb of the sun. We're also looking at active region 4513, where that M-class flare did shoot out of. It is now turning onto the Earth-facing disk, but current flare forecasting is giving us roughly a 30 to 35% chance of additional M-class activity, depending on the forecast update. While the probability of an X-class flare remains much lower, it is around a 5%. So we're active, but we're not sitting under some enormous X-class flare warning yet. Then we have the magnetic side, because we already had elevated conditions associated with coronal-hole high-speed wind streams, including periods reaching around a KP5 or a G1 minor geomagnetic storm level. But for August the 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, the overall picture here, it remains somewhat unsettled, okay? So we're looking at the potential for periods around a KP4, which is very low, with the possibility of brief G1 conditions if the solar wind strengthens, and especially if that magnetic field turns southward. And another coronal hole high-speed stream is expected to become relevant around the 21st and into the 22nd. So that's what I'm watching as we move towards this weekend. That does not mean I'm telling you that we are definitely getting a geomagnetic storm. It just means that those conditions are there for things to become more active, and space weather forecasts can change quickly. So keep an eye on solar wind speeds, look at the density, keep an eye on the BZ, especially because when the BZ turns southward for a long period of time, or long enough, Earth's magnetic field here can couple much more effectively with that solar wind, and that's when geomagnetic activity can jump. Now, energetically, during heightened energetic periods, sensitive people, they often tell me that they are experiencing weird sleep patterns, they are having vivid dreams, they are having headaches, they are having that ear ringing, they are having exhaustion followed by these bursts of energy, or they have these emotional releases all of a sudden, or they just feel really overstimulated. Energetically here, I am always asking the same questions. What is being amplified right now? What type of emotions suddenly started getting louder? What am I being pushed finally to look at? Sometimes the energy doesn't create the issue, it illuminates what is already there. And then we have the astrology, because August 20th, my birthday, we are in the final degrees of Leo. So this is where we close out that big Leo chapter around identity, around visibility, around courage, around being unapologetically yourself. Then Venus opposing Saturn brings much more serious conversations surrounding relationships, surrounding boundaries, surrounding your self-worth. So who's meeting you where you are? Where are you actually overgiving? What actually has a foundation that is worth building, and what only works because you keep holding it together? Then we move towards August 22nd. This is when the sun is going to transition from Leo into Virgo. And I love this shift because Leo says, hey, this is who I am. And then the Virgo version says, great, that's wonderful. Now what are we going to build with it? And after everything that I have experienced experienced and created in this past year, that is probably the most appropriate birthday message that I could possibly get. That goes for you too. So going into this weekend, we have M-class flare already on board here. We already have active regions that are worth watching, especially the one that is coming onto the Earth-facing side of the sun. We are looking at coronal-hole solar wind, a potential unsettled geomagnetic storm. We're looking at relationship and boundary reality checks. We're also looking at Leo that is dramatically leaving a stage, while Virgo is going to walk right in with a planner and a clipboard and a checklist. If you've been feeling called to understand your own energy, your starseed origins, your natal chart, your mission, your chapter, whatever it may be, book a session on my website, sarahstarrofficial.com. I'm Sarah Starr, your galactic guide, here with your energy update and birthday surprise for August the 20th.